guys, it's Barrett with the Gimping Camper. We're coming at you today from Tellico Plains, Tennessee, a little place called Indian Boundary. It's part of the National Forest System. You can make your reservations here through recreation.gov. So that means that you do get some discounts with your U.S. Park Pass or your America's Beautiful Pass, whatever you want to call it these days. You know, it's not the 50% off, but it's a pretty good discount. So, you know, why would you not want to come here? Look at this, guys. Look, I'm going to take you a little bit over here. It's my new DJI Osmo Pocket, by the way. So it's kind of like I have a cameraman now. I've had this camera for a little while, but it's been some issues with the audio that I've been trying to get right. I think I finally got that worked out with a new mic. Anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit about the campground here. So it's split up into 4 loops, and it's all centered around a central cul-de-sac. It's a very nice campground. As far as cell phone service, I think you can pretty much forget it. Maybe if you have an extender you can get some, but we had 0 bars the whole time we were here. I don't think they have any Wi-Fi here or anything like that, so you're going to be unplugging for a while if you come up here. But that's nice to do sometimes, right? So for all practicality purposes, this campground's set up into 3 different loops. You have loops A, B, and then you have one that's kind of split in half with C and D. But for all, you know, common purposes, it is one loop there. So most of the service here is 30 amp. There are some 50 amp service. I think they're all around loop D, but I'm not 100% on that. And there's really no bad sites. The 2 sites that I would say to avoid are 69 and 75, and that's just if you're in a camper, because the tent site's a little bit, you know, side to the side of the regular parking place, and so that's why I would avoid those. For everything else, it's pretty much going to be making sure that your camper has a good fit there. One downside to it is that it does say on the recreation.gov site that you can only have a camper 25 feet. Well, there's plenty of parking places where you can fit something in that's longer than that. And so I've talked to many people that I didn't actually call them, but I've talked to many people that say that they've talked to people at the park and they say just to put 25 feet on there. I mean, obviously if you got too big of a rig, that could be an issue because the road's kind of tight on the loops. But, you know, with my rig at my spot at 77, there's plenty of extra space. The only other caveat to some of those sites, as long as you read it and the dimensions will fit your rig, is that a couple of them have a little bit of an issue where there's a slight turn at the beginning of them or something like that, but no big deal. Now my top recommended sites are going to be as follows, and these aren't the biggest sites, but it's where I would go if it would fit my camper probably. Okay, so the first sites in loop A is going to be 15 and 16. On a side note, 17 I think would be a great spot if you were tent camping, because it has that whole offset thing where, you know, you can't back all the way in there. As well as site B, I would go with 29 and 30. And then site C and D, 58 and 60. Now 59 is great the way that somebody has it set up right now, but it's really, you got to have a shorter trailer. I think it's kind of a pull through kind of deal, and you have a lot of like gravel there, but I think you have a lot of space, let's put it that way. But the way that the people have it there now is basically backwards from the way it's parked, backwards from the way that you would actually like pull around the loop, and so it works out good in that sense, but I don't know how good it would be if you had a larger trailer, so I would avoid it if you had something over like 20 feet long. They do have a 3.6 mile trail that goes all the way around this lake, and it seems to be really nice what I've been on. I've not been all the way around, but it's gravel. It's nice enough to ride your bicycle from the camping loop over to here. There's also across the way over here a little like fishing pier where I saw some people fishing, and it's just a nice area. It's a beautiful drive on the way up here. Once you pass Tellico Plains, there is a few places where it gets kind of hairy pulling a camper because you're afraid your tires might go off the side of the road and there's not really a shoulder or anything there. But as long as you're okay driving, then there's no issues getting up here. And you have, if you drive about 6-8 miles from here, you get a good cell service and you can communicate if you need to. They also have a private general store here at the campground. It's a really nice for what it is. They have a lot of things that you may have forgotten and need to pick up. They had a lot of things that I've looked for at other general stores at campgrounds and not been able to find, like sewer hoses, because we've all forgot one of those from time to time, haven't we? There's two different rules that they're kind of sticklers on up here from what I've noticed. It's on the back of their map. The first one's about hammocks. Apparently they're pretty picky about hammocks, more so than anywhere else I've ever been. I had a friend that came up recently that said that they got in trouble for having their hammock up, but basically it says on their thing here that you have to have it within the campsite timbers. So that means you have to hang your hammock in the parking place. Come on. As long as you're using tree straps, it's not bad for the trees. But that's their rule, so we gotta abide by it. And then given that rule, there's also a pretty strict rule about dogs and leashes, saying that they have to be under your control on the leash. And that mixed with the hammock, I wasn't even gonna try to hang the rover up and let the dogs run. So we've just been taking them out on a leash. So that's, one of the things, guys, when you visit places, you got to follow by their rules. All in all, I think this is a great place. I'd recommend coming here. There is a place about, I'd say it's about 8 miles down the road, called Bald River Falls. If you've never been there, you need to go check it out. I'm going to show you some video of that. And also there's a whole bunch of pullovers and things where you can pull, look at the river and the different rapids on the way up here. If you don't have a kayak or something to enjoy this beautiful water, down at the general store they do have floats and stuff, and they also rent kayaks from what I understand. And also, what I've been told is they have really reasonable prices on those as well. So I just listed the sites that I thought were the best sites here. What I'm going to do in the description is list a lot more that I would recommend that I just didn't feel like made it into that best category. But like I say, it's great up here. Almost every site you can make work, as long as if your camper is less than 25 feet, you can make every site work. But I would say if you have a 34 foot camper, you can make 75% of these sites work. Just go by the descriptions and the campsites, and try to find a couple of pictures on there, and you can find anything online these days, guys. There's also a Facebook group that I'll link in the description that's only about this campground and people that come here and people that like it. I follow it. I'll leave you a link for that. Check it out. So guys, I think this is overall a great place to visit. If you don't mind, if you hadn't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, follow me, and we'll go on another adventure soon, okay?
bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me.
Hey guys, just real quick, I wanted to point out that we are having a featured video this week, a featured YouTube channel. And this week's featured YouTube channel is Live and Learn RV. It's another smaller YouTube channel that's based here in the Southeast. All their videos soon to be out of South Carolina. It's pretty entertaining. Hit them up.
Do not forget to hit that subscribe button.